African and Jew.
Yeah, you ever heard of the children of Israel?
Yeah.
Well, present day, they would be us. So-called African Americans, so-called West Indians, so-called Haitians.
Would it be all of us?
All of us. We all come from various tribes.
12 tribes?
Yeah. The 12 tribes of Israel. You know what they call them? The lost sheep of the house of Israel, right? Aren't we the lost sheep? Aren't we the lost people? We don't even know who we are.
Now, I've been doing some research on that. But now, who exactly did the 430 years?
The 430 years you talking about in Ezekiel?
In Exodus.
Exodus?
Chapter 12, verse 40 to 45.
What is that 400 years talking about?
But it said a certain people would do 430 years in a land that was not their own.
Well, if I'm right, you quote Genesis 15?
Oh, you talking about the Exodus?
Exodus chapter 12. Verse 40.
Exodus 12?
Yes, Exodus.
Exodus 12 and 40?
Exodus chapter 12, verse 40 to 45.
Oh, yeah, that's easy.
And would that be everybody or just certain race? I don't know. Right? What you understand no question?
Exodus 12, chapter what? I mean, verse what?
40
to 45.
40 to 45.
Just read it.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 12, verse 40. Now the sojourning of the children of Israel.
You say the what?
The children of
No.
Israel.
What are the children of Israel?
Now the sojourning
The sojourning of the children of Israel, read on.
who dwelled in Egypt was 430
Let's
years.
say the sojourning of the children of Israel. This is what we gotta understand. This is pertinent to that time in antiquity when the nation of Israel came about. That's the sojourning, right? So it's not just one time in one place, but it was dealing with the whole and the totality of that sojourning. Hold that, give me that, what is that, Galatians 3? Galatians 3, Galatians 4. Right? Because it's going to explain what that means, the sojourning.
I thought it was travel.
You said what?
Travel.
Yeah, the time that we was traveling without our own land, right? Is that it? There you go. Go ahead.
You want me to start at 16?
Yeah, you can start at 16.
This is the book of Galatians, chapter 3, verse 16.
Read on.
Now to Abraham
Abraham, right? Read.
and his seed were the promise made.
That's right. That's who the promises came. Abraham and his seed, right? Went through Isaac, went through Jacob, right? Read.
He said of not into seeds as of many, but as of one.
That's right, as of one. Who is that one? Isaac. But what's it going to say? Read.
Into thy seed, which is Christ.
Right, boom. Showing you who Isaac was, right? But read.
And this I say, that the covenant that was confirmed before of God in Christ, the law,
right? Read.
which was 430 years after.
They said the law came 430 years after the promise came. The covenant was made by promise, right? So God made a covenant with the father of the faith, Abraham, by a promise. The laws were given to the children of Israel 430 years after that promise was made, right? So that was that time of the sojourning of Abraham's children for that 430 years in between when the promise was made and in between when the Israelites came out of Egypt. That was a 430-year process. Read.
Cannot disannul.
It cannot disannul. So it's telling you that when Moses came and gave the Israelites the laws, regardless of whether or not we broke the laws, the promise was still made to the descendants of Abraham minus works, right? So let's let you know that Israel is going to be saved predicated upon the promise that the Most High God made with Abraham, right? So that 430 years is talking about the sojourning of Israel, which is who we are, the sojourning of our patriarchs, right? Of these Jacob and his 12 sons, right? That's what it's talking about. That's documented in Genesis.
So Jacob had 12 sons?
He had 12 sons, one daughter. Yes, sir. He was busy, right? I'm trying to catch up to Jacob.
I ain't mad with those big guys. I really ain't. Oh, yeah, them big doing stuff.
Yeah, he had 4 women too, right? He didn't just get 13. He didn't get 13 kids out of one womb. Man, you don't want to do that to one womb. You want to spread the wealth, right? Right. So, but that's what happened. So that 430 years was a time of our sojourn. Because even in a time where Jacob and the 12 patriarchs were living in the land of Canaan, right? Which eventually the Israelites would inherit, and we're going to re-inherit. Even during that,
these were black men.
yes, these are black men, right? Been a couple. So even during that time period, even though we were in Canaan, it wasn't our land still, right? Because the Canaanites still ruled that we had to basically buy a plot of land up off the Canaanites. So it still wasn't ours. So that was still the time of our sojourning at that time, right? So it wasn't ours until we go and conquest Canaan in the book of Joshua. Once you read up in that book of Joshua, it tells you about how we made Israel our land and took it, right? But even then, we didn't take all of it. Because what God, give me what God promised to Abraham. What's that, Genesis 12? Give me what the Most High promised to Abraham. Because we never have fully realized what the Most High is going to give us. We ain't going to fully realize that till the return of the Messiah. That's when we going to fully understand and receive what the Most High has for us, right? Is in that time, right? Talk about the great river Egypt. Genesis 15 to 18.
That same day, the Lord made a covenant with Abram.
So he made this covenant. This was the start of this time period. He makes a covenant, right, Reed?
Saying, unto thy seed have I given this land.
That's right, unto thy seed have I given this land, read on.
From the river of Egypt.
From what?
From the river of Egypt.
The Nile River, right? From the river of Egypt, Reed.
Unto the great river, the river Euphrates.
All the way into what's known today as Iraq. That's the promised land. From Egypt, from the eastern part of Egypt, east of the Nile, all the way to the western side of Iraq. That's the chosen land of God, right? That's the promised land. That's supposed to be Israel. But Israel, the Israelites, us, we've never possessed all of that how we supposed to. So we finally gonna have that when the Most High send his son of Messiah, who the world knows as Jesus, right? So-called black man. When he sends him to save us, that's when we finally gonna realize that we're gonna have all of that in our possession as the promise is.
So now, so that's the Exodus will physically take place on boats and ships.
It ain't gonna take place on boats and ships, right? Give me that. Give me 1 Corinthians 15. Twinkling of an eye.
All right, I got you.
All right.
You got the measles.
All right, this is the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 15, verse 51. Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye.
So this salvation is not coming conventional. It's not coming through boats and ships, planes, trains, automobiles, right? It said we shall be changed. Right? We're going to be changed in the twinkling of an eye. That's something an automobile don't have the ability to do. So this is talking about a supernatural salvation, supernatural exodus is going to occur. And even in Exodus, the first Exodus was supernatural. Look at the supernatural abilities that Most High endowed with Moses, right? So read.
In the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump.
At the last trump. That's what's going to happen, right? So read.
For the trumpet shall sound. And the dead shall be raised incorruptible.
See, the dead will be raised. The trumpet gonna sound, right? Remember that. The trumpet gonna sound, and then the dead is gonna be raised incorruptible. That's important. So you see, the change in the twinkle of an eye, dead raised incorruptible. This is not anything conventional that we have has the ability to do. So this lets us know it's not that type of Exodus, right? Go ahead.
And we shall be changed.
There you go. Now get. That's it on that? There's more. Go ahead, select.
It's just talking about putting on the book. All right.
Okay.
For this corruptible must put on incorruptible.
So we will have incorruptible. We have bodies now that decay, that get disease, right? Get tired, get cold, get hot. They said we're gonna put on incorruptible in that time, right? Read.
And this mortal must put on immortality.
Right, see that? Now give me Matthew 24. Matthew 24, let's start at 29. And we're gonna read the 31.
I have people arguing against y'all.
All the time. All the time people argue against it. But it's all right because the Most High gave us a spirit to defend the gospel. Right? So go ahead.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 27.
Read.
For as lightning cometh out of the east.
24, 29. Start 29.
Oh, it's like
Go right.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 29.
Read.
Immediately after the tribulation
There's going to be tribulation. But immediately after a time of tribulation, what's going to happen? Read.
of those days shall the sun be darkened,
Read.
and the moon shall not give her light,
Read on.
and the stars shall fall from heaven,
Read on.
and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken.
Read.
And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man
Here comes the sign of the Son of Man, read, which is Christ, the Messiah, read.
in heaven. Then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn.
All the tribes of the earth is going to mourn. That's the level of hell that's coming to this earth in the day of judgment, right? When the wrath of the Most High God is on
That's scary.
right?
That's really scary.
It's right. And why is it scary? Because we dealing with the Most High. They say the fear of the Lord, fear of the Most High, is the beginning of wisdom. So if we don't understand it, thank you, bro. If you don't understand that we're dealing with the Most High supreme being that has the power to do these terrible and terrifying things in the earth, when we understand that, now we understand that we have to follow his instructions. Because if we don't follow his instructions, it's like us begging him to unleash this fury upon us, right? Read.
And then shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of
You see
heaven.
the Son of Man, but the Messiah, whose real name in Hebrew is Yahushua, he gonna return coming in clouds. He gonna be, all the earth is gonna see this return, right? Read.
With power.
With what?
With power.
He gonna come with power, right? He had power in his last time. He showed that through doing miracles, through healing people, raising the dead, turning water into wine. He demonstrated that power then. But the power that he's gonna come back with is gonna be a power to conquer, right? Until you hold that Revelations 5 up. The conquering lion. I think it's
I
5
like
and
to
9.
study with y'all, but I'm in the shelter and I ain't got nowhere to put my bag. Really
Listen,
good.
we come out here Fridays about this time, either here or down the street a little bit more, you know, where like the CVS is at, or we be at CNN Center Thursday night, Saturday afternoon as well.
Everybody be away from that.
Right here in the streets, right? But go ahead. Let me know you got it. Conquering lion right there. 5 minutes for that 6.
Yes. All right. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 5, verse 6.
You know it?
And I beheld, and lo, in the midst of the throne, and of the 4 beasts, and in the midst of the elders, stood a lamb,
Stood a lamb, read.
as it had been slain.
And the lamb is in it been slain, right? Because Christ was called, the Messiah, Yahushua was called the Lamb of God that take away the sins of the world. So the lamb that had been slain, that's talking about the crucifixion. When our sins were put on him, he died for our sins. Read.
Having 7 horns,
Having what?
7 horns, and 7 eyes,
Read on.
which are the 7 spirits of God,
They tell you right what them 7 spirits, what them 7 horns and eyes represent, the 7 spirits of the Most High. Read.
sent forth into all the earth. And he came and took the book out of the right hand of him that sat upon the throne.
Read on.
And when he had taken the book, the 4 beasts and 40 and 20 elders fell down before the Lamb, having every one of
Where you at? I need it right here. I need 5.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 5, verse 5. And one of the elders said unto me, weep not. Behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah.
The what?
The Lion of the tribe of Judah.
The Lion of the tribe of Judah. Read.
The root of David had prevailed to open the book and took loose the 7 seals thereof.
That's one of them.
I don't mean to cut you off. Do you have any literature? Because I know I got to be hitting back.
Yeah, we out of literature, but like I said, just come see us on Friday around here. Next time, most time we have some literature.
And what time you be here about?
Usually it's in the afternoon. Not that, like around this time, like in between like 5, 7, in between 5, 7, 5, and 8.
I'll come when I just came on a bus last night. I'm gonna go try to find somewhere and get this guy going while I get situated.
Okay.
So I wouldn't have to have a room space where I can.
Yeah, get yourself situated. I understand, bro. Get yourself situated. But like I said,
Thank you, brother.
no problem, man. Like I said, we got the conquering lion of the tribe of Judah stuff. So give me that back in the Matthew 24. Right? He's coming, the Lion of the tribe of Judah. First, he came as a lamb. He came as a lamb. Why? To be sacrificial. But he can't give me that back. He coming with power though, back in Matthew 24. That's the point of the going. Read.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 30.
Read.
And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man
Then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man, read.
in heaven.
Uh-huh.
And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn.
Right, read.
And they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven
Come the clouds of heaven, read.
with power.
With power. This is important to understand, with power. Because last time, like I said, he came with power. But his power he was utilizing to do miracles, to raise the dead, etc. Right? The power that he's coming back on the scene with is to be a lion, to be a conquering lion. He's not coming in that lamb spirit again. He already came in that lamb spirit. He already came in a meek spirit, in a humble spirit. And we gave him our advocates, who is we, the nation of Israel. So he's coming in the spirit of conquest in this time. Right? That's what he's coming back through the spirit of the Most High. So that power that he's coming back with is a power to conquer. Right? That's why I say in Revelations, he's going to have many crowns on his head. Meaning he's taking the rulership and dominion over this whole earth. Right? That's the power he's coming back with. Keep going.
In great glory.
In what?
In great glory.
Glorious, man. When he came last time, he was meek. He was humble. Like it said in Isaiah, there was no comeliness. But there was nothing comely, and people didn't esteem him as a great man, as the king. They mocked him. They put a crown of thorns on his head. Right? They put above his cross what? King of the Jews. Did they actually acknowledge him as King of the Jews? No, they did that out of mockery, right? But when he's coming back, he's coming with glory from the Most High. He's going to be in his glory, and the whole earth is going to witness that. They'll say, Holy God, read.
And then shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet.
That's right. He's going to send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet. Remember, we went to 1 Corinthians, what they say? At the last trump. What he going to send his angels with the great sound of a trumpet. Read.
And they shall gather together his elect.
And they shall what?
Gather together his elect.
The angels going to do it. So the whole point of going this in the spirit was when people ask this crazy, because a brother at camp last night asked the same question. A brother who looked similar to that brother. That's the crazy part about it. Except he didn't have a big gray beard. Right? But it's that same thing. People get in this ideology that there's this second Exodus that we just finna get up and pack up and we just finna leave America. No, that's not how this is getting ready to happen. This whore gotta get judged and we gotta be found in the hands of this whore. That's part of the judgment of the whore. And you still here. If we all just got up and left, what's the point of this whore getting judged? I mean, hey, y'all are gone now, like, you know, get over it. Right? At that point, see? So that whole thing is a trick. And let me tell you something. You ain't getting Negroes and Latinos out of America. Negroes and Latinos are breaking their damn back to get here.
Right.
We not going no damn where. We not going nowhere. Go ahead.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 21, verse 16. And he that stealeth a man and selleth him.
Right, read.
Or if he be found in his hand.
If he be what?
Found in his hand.
Be found in their hand. If he be found in his hand, then what?
He shall surely be put to death.
See that? So us being here in America is a judgment and a testament against America. So when they say, why don't you leave? Why I leave? Because I want God to kill you. That's why. I want God's judgment to reign on this place. So I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm going to remain in your hand. I'm going to definitely stay in your hand for that express purpose. So when that judgment comes, you're worthy of it. You're worthy of death, pal. That's what's got to be understood. So when who you call Christ, Yahweh shall return, he's coming with power to conquer, to rule. That's what he's coming. All that meek stuff. People want to talk about the meekness of the Lord, right? That's fine. He demonstrated that. But ain't nobody talking about how he's getting ready to come back. He's getting ready to come back with vengeance, right? He's getting ready to come back mad as hell. Precept? Or it's more on that for reborn. We'll read more on that. We'll get some of this vengeance and glory. Of Mashiach, right? Read.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 31.
Read.
And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet.
With a great sound of a trumpet, the angels is coming, right? You know?
And they shall gather together his elect.
And they shall gather together who?
His elect.
His elect, right? Go ahead. So we not getting on a Carnival cruise ship, right? Ain't no plane, trains, and automobiles, all right? The angels is coming to gather. You know what?
From the four winds.
From what?
From the four winds.
From all over the earth. There's elect men scattered all over this earth. Family, women, children, scattered all over this earth that the Most High is going to deem worthy for salvation. Based upon, in large part, the faith and works that they had, keeping the laws, having faith in the Son, right? The Mashiach. He's going to send the reapers to come in the last trumpet, right? We're going to get the last trumpet. We're going to see this man. Just finish that out. Go ahead.
From one end of heaven to the other.
All over this earth, right? From one side of this earth to another. Now, the Most High will have Yahweh Shai, the command over them angels to come and save, right? Give me, what is that? Revelation.
What, the last trumpet?
Nah, yeah, the seventh trumpet. Now let's see what the seventh trumpet's are. Right? Because at the sound of that trumpet is when that salvation gonna come. So let's read about it. Next verse. What trumpets are we in between now? We in the fifth trumpet right now. There's only 2 trumpets left, right? We might go into that right now. Go ahead. All right, go ahead.
I'm gonna start it. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 11, verse 12. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, come up hither. And they ascended up into...
This is the last trumpet. They heard a great voice saying, come up hither. Who's saying that? The angels, man. Read.
And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud.
That's right. They were ascended up to heaven in a cloud. Those who were the just men, the men that justified through the blood of Hamashiach. That's who that's going to happen. What's going on, brother? You got a question?
Where you get all that evidence?
What, right here?
Yeah.
You studying the Bible and studying history.
And that's how you got it. So theology and history?
Important. Right? Because when you deal with the 12 tribes of Israel, that's a ethno-religious identity. So if you're dealing with ethno-religious, you got to study history, you got to study anthropology, you got to study the Bible. Because the existence of these people is accompanied by the Bible. This book, the whole world is reading this book, right? This book called the Bible. But this book is about one particular culture. It's about one particular culture and their God, right? And everybody in the world is talking about it. The people who are actually of that one particular culture are the victims of all the atrocities that have happened in the last half a millennium in the Americas. Through the Middle Passage, through conquest, right? Through Jim Crow, through Juan Crow, through rapists, lynchers, hangers, etc. These are those saints. These are those people, right? We are those people, right? So how did your people get to America? Brother, how did your people get here?
How do you pronounce that? Ephraim?
Ephraim?
Yeah.
Ephraim. Or Ephraim.
Ephraim.
With Spanish, Ephraim, English, Ephraim.
Ain't that the name of the name?
No.
Sounds like Ephraim.
Ephraim?
Yeah.
There's no angel in the Bible called Ephraim. So if you heard of an angel called Ephraim, it's in some type of extra biblical information. Not saying that there can't be an angel called Ephraim. I've just never read it, right? But your people, how did your people get to the land mass of the Americas?
Transatlantic slave trade.
Transatlantic slave trade. Boom. Right? Are you familiar with the fact that the transatlantic slave trade is a part of biblical prophecy?
Yeah.
You've heard this before. Okay, well you understand. So you understand that you're an Israelite. Okay. So if you understand you're an Israelite, why the Inquisition about the declaration that you're an Israelite?
Say that again?
I said, if you understand that you're an Israelite, why the Inquisition about something that's designed to declare the fact that you're an Israelite, something that you already acknowledge is true?
Well, trying to shelter the truth. I mean, snuff the truth out for a century or something.
You say you've been trying to snuff the truth out for a century?
No, not me.
Okay.
The people.
The people have been
Malevolent people in power.
have been trying to snuff the truth out for a century.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. So there's times where there's been certain individuals who have seen this information have got upset and said, well, how did y'all figure it out? Right? Why would they say, how did you figure it out? Because they've been trying to snuff it out, right? There's periods of time where these were known facts. From 100 and 200 years ago, and see people talking about this openly, about all of these people being the descendants of Israel. That's very common and very easy information to come from. Who's a Caucasian?
She looks like it.
She looked up. You know who Quincy Jones? You know who Quincy Jones is?
That's her daughter?
That's
her?
his.
Oh, wow. I know she looks familiar.
Yeah, see, because Rashida Jones, she's an actress in many movies, right? But see, what this is demonstrating with the visual aid, because we got the text here, right? You can read it, but we give you the visual aid to show people, because people get caught up on, oh, you don't like people because of color. It ain't got nothing to do with the color days. Because we're showing you now that our people come in various shades. So we're not, see, there's a system called white supremacy that's in place that is about skin color. We're not telling you anything about skin color, right? We are people of color, but our color is invariant, right? So the issue we have is not based upon nobody's skin color. It's based upon, it's based upon this. This is the issue I have. I got an issue with this, right? I don't, listen, the fact that you can't tan in the sun, you know, they turn red in the sun, that's not why I don't like that. That's not why we have this animosity. The problem is this happened, and nobody's answered for this, and it gets swept under the rug, and we're just supposed to just keep it moving and forget about it. But anything that happens to them, we can't forget about it. 9/11, never forget. We haven't been able to forget the Holocaust yet, right? But we gotta forget about
What's up,
this.
brothers?
What's up, sister? How you feeling?
I'm good.
All praise to the Most High. We gotta forget about this, but we can't forget about anything that they've suffered, right? So our issue has nothing to do with anybody's skin color. Our issue has to do with atrocity and justice and right and wrong. That's the issue. What's right and what's wrong, right? Go ahead.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 12, verse 9. My heritage is unto me as a speckled bird. The birds round about are against us.
So it's like a speckled bird. So we let you know Israel has a variant in physical appearance. So we're not just, like you said, this sister, some people just think it's a white girl, right? The whole time, this Quincy Jones, everybody knows Quincy Jones, right? Everybody knows about the contributions Quincy Jones had to black people in the last day of 40, 50 years, right? Who gonna dispute him? Well, that's his baby girl, right? So this is letting you know we come in various looks. Jason Kidd, see what I'm saying right here? So we have all these various looks, you see? But it's showing you ain't got nothing to do with skin color. Her right here, this is Lala. Some fellows white.
Power, right?
Power, also on Power. Lakeisha on Power. Got her head blew off a couple episodes ago.
Beautiful woman on the planet.
One of the most beautiful women on the planet, hands down. So-called Puerto Rican, right? People got mad. They said she showed up to the Latino boy that got murdered with a machete. He said, well, she didn't show up. This black person got shot. She didn't show up. First off, it happened in her neighborhood and she's a Latino. So what's wrong with her showing up for our people? Now you got a problem with showing up. But here's the thing though, the problem is we doing too much divisiveness. And the divisiveness has been programmed in us. We already one people. Ezekiel 37. We already one group of people, so-called black, so-called Hispanic, so-called anybody Israel.
And I'm gonna show that song before I step out. That second one comes from the left. Educate me on that.
With the 7 heads? Okay, I got you. Let's do it with the 7 heads and the 10 horns, right? So we know John had a vision. Give me that, Revelation 17:1. John had a vision of a beast with 7 heads, 10 horns, and a whore had a cup, and she rode it, right? So if she's riding it, what does that mean?
She's like ruling.
She's ruling, she's in control. And then she's got this cup, and this cup she's getting everyone drunk with, right? This is how we know who's who and what's what. Go ahead, read that.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 17, verse 3. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness.
Read on.
And I saw a woman sitting upon a scarlet-colored beast.
Right, go ahead.
Full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns.
So it's 7 heads in these 10 horns, right? So when you take a look at these 7 heads and 10 horns that we have in this sign, we have names and places, Germanian names, right? the Romans, Germania Minor, the Spanish, the French, the British. These are all ancient European kingdoms that grew into modern day countries, right? Then you have the 10 horns. This represents the common markers of Europe. So these are the ancient or the older European countries. But then you had countries like, for example, what sprang out of France? Belgium. What comes out of places like Spain? Portugal. You see what I'm saying? What comes out of Britain? Ireland, Scotland, Wales. These horns represent those things, right? What comes out of Germania? The Dutch, right? Because on one side you got the Dutch, the other side you got the Deutsch, right? Same thing, just a minor difference in how they pronounce words. So this is talking about the rise of Europe, right? Read.
Verse 4.
Uh-huh.
The woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet colors.
So when you deal with the biblical concept of purple and scarlet color, biblically somebody wears purple, that's like somebody being draped in Louis or, you know, a very high costing garment at that time. Just to have something that was purple meant that you had money. You had, you know, you were exalted, right?
What does it mean?
Go ahead.
Royalty.
Royalty.
Where did that come from?
Exactly.
That's what it means?
Royalty, that's where it comes from, the royal purple, the royal blue.
Okay.
Because the Phoenicians, they were expert traders, and they had a certain dye that would dye garments purple and royal blue and scarlet, and these were regarded as the royal colors, but they were costly. It's what the Bible calls costly array. So that's what it's synonymous with. If you had that, it symbolized a certain status you had, right? Read.
Decked with gold and precious stones.
Right, so this whore is decked with gold and precious stones, right? Read.
And pearls. Having a golden cup in her hand.
So she got this golden cup, right? Read.
Full of abomination and filthiness of her fornication.
See that? So the wine is abominations and filthiness, right? So this wine is America. This whore is America. She's decked out. She's the country that everyone looks at as if it's the standard, right?
Superpower.
And the superpower. And she's control all these Western European countries. Who calls the shots for them? Who has the most clout? Her, right? This whore. She's in control. If she want to go to war, they got to go to war. Right? Because what are they now after World War II? They're a coalition of the women.
Oh yeah, NATO.
Right? NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization. That consists of America and those Western European countries, right? That's what it's all about. So who has the most clout, the most power, the most say-so? America. And they got this cup that indoctrinates people. Why is all the world accepting alternative lifestyle, LGBTQ right now? Who's pushing that agenda? The whore. That's what's in the cup, right? Read.
Verse 5. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon.
Mystery Babylon, right? So who the whore is Babylon, right? So this is how we understand this is Babylon. Because the whore is Babylon. Read.
Babylon the Great.
Babylon the what?
The Great.
It's even greater in its wickedness than the ancient Babylon, than the Babylon of antiquity you read about. Read.
The mother of harlots.
The what?
The mother of harlots.
So for example, right? Super Bowl's coming up next month, right? Miami. What do they call the Super Bowl? What's one of the various names? The big game, but they also call it the mother of all games. Why would they call it the mother of all games? It's the last game of the season. Why would it be the mother of all games?
Mother is beginning.
Right? You would think mother is beginning, but when you take a look at how it's used in expressions, it ain't talking about necessarily the beginning of something. When it says mother, it's talking about like the biggest or the greatest. You see what I'm saying? That's why they call the Super Bowl the mother. It's the last. It ain't the beginning game. It's the last game, but it's the biggest game. It's the most important game. Because when you deal with mother, especially in society, a mother is deified, right? If you go to a college, it's called, you call your college what? Your alma mater. That means your mother. It really means your mother goddess is what you're calling a college. You call it your alma mater. So, but college is an institution that you go to like. That's the last institution you go to. See? But this is just letting you know how they view the concept of the mother. That important, right? Question, go ahead. 666 is barcode, right? So the 666 give you Revelation 13. Because we're gonna get into the mark of the beast. You heard of the term mark of the beast before?
Yeah.
What do you have a school of thought on what you believe the mark of the beast to be?
Those who are marked with that, following the wicked ways and everything like that.
Follow the wicked
And
ways.
it's like, it's funny because they often tell you like reverse is God, but I think that's wrong because they say it's 777. That's what it's like. They say if you flip it flip it, it's 999, but that's not true. It's really 777.
Well,
I don't know if I'm, you know, like I said, I know a little bit.
We're gonna show you right now. Let's get into it.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 16.
Go on.
And he causes all, both small and great,
Small and great, read.
rich and poor,
Read.
free and bond, to receive the mark in their right hand.
So it's a mark that's being received in the right hand. When you take a look at that word mark, it's the Greek word charagma, right? Charagma means something that's imprinted, right? An imprinted mark. Etymology of charagma is the Greek word charos, which means like a pale, you know, like a vampire movie, put the stake through their heart. That's what the term charos means, right? So whatever this mark is, it's something that's put into somebody, right? Read.
Or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell.
Think now, you have certain people that have the school of thought that the mark of the beast is some form of behavior, some form of wickedness. But this mark, according to this prophecy, is going to prohibit people. You're going to lose the ability to engage in financial transactions if you don't have this mark, right? So a behavior or ideology is not going to stop you from going in the store and buying something, right? And that's why I brought up the Greek word for mark and in its etymology, because it's talking about something being put in, right? So with the current technological advances that you're familiar with, is there anything that seems like they could put in somebody to make financial transactions?
Put in somebody?
Phones you can have, right?
Yeah.
But I could throw a phone away if I wanted to. I can lose my phone. I'm talking about put in
Okay, well, shots.
shots.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm with you.
Technology.
I'm
kind of just
you're gonna receive it through a shot, right? RFID. There's people with RFID chips implanted in them right now that can walk up to a credit card machine and see what I'm saying? According to this prophecy, it's telling you that that's what the mark of the beast is, because that's something that can be implanted in you. And if you don't have, if society went totally cashless right now, and they just said, look, everybody can receive debits on this chip. If you didn't have that, then what? You ain't doing no buying or selling, man, right? Because you don't have the thing that is necessary to engage in commerce, right? So that's what it's referred to. That's what the mark of the beast is, right? Is this chip that they're going to implant in people's seats? Because first, everyone dealt in cash. Then they came out with what? Checks, right? Then they came out with the check card or the debit card. Now, your debit card got an NFC chip in it. Not an RFID chip, but an NFC chip in it. So now they're like, no, don't swipe. Stick the chip in, right? These is all the process to get you ready for the next level. Now they got Apple Pay and Google Pay. Now you just hit your phone, boom, that's it. What's the next step? It's in you.
They put it in the watch was the next one.
Yeah,
where you just
boom.
go like that. They get it used to in your hand.
Just doing that.
Because here's the thing, that's why I said phones, because you know, nanites, smaller than like the air you breathe or something like that. Nanites can be dispersed anywhere. You can't even see them, they go in your skin.
True.
You see what I'm saying?
True.
Phones can have nanites and they can disperse nanites. See, that's what I said.
Have you seen the movie before Kingsman?
The first one.
The first one, but Samuel was the bad guy.
First one, yeah. Remember, the chips made
they
them go
gave everyone the
crazy.
phones, and then they turn up the frequency on them chips, and niggas just start killing each
And they
other.
mess with their, I was like, yo.
So cell phones can be a part of it, but the ultimate thing is going to be, because when you're dealing with, even when when we deal with this image right here, right, that everyone believes in Jesus, right? When they came to the Americas with this, it was a simple option. You either bow to this or you don't. And if you don't, then what? You're dead. What do you do, right? But you have the option, right? The option was given to you to voluntarily submit yourself to this, right? Or you can not and you can see death, right? So I'm going into that to bring out the ideology and how the powers that be, as you spoke about, function. They want you to choose to follow what they're telling you. They're going to give you an impossible decision, either follow this or die.
It's funny because
Go ahead.
like lot of rap music. So for some reason, I just be seeing stuff. Dangerous. See that? That's just dangerous.
Yeah, no, that is crazy.
See what I'm saying?
That is really
See how I
crazy.
saw that?
Dangerous.
Dangerous.
Yeah. Listen, I've been looking at this sign. This sign is what. If I wasn't for this sign, I wouldn't be here talking to you right now. Right? And I've never noticed that about this in 11 years. Right?
And you look familiar too. That's why I stopped.
That's crazy.
Like,
You might have seen the YouTube videos.
yeah. So last week for us,
Go ahead,
some music.
Uh-huh.
You know, Lucifer, Satan used to be the leader of the choir in heaven.
Not true.
Not true?
Not true.
That's not true.
Very common
Educate.
misconception. We're going to educate you on that now. I'm going to show you where they get that from.
Okay.
We'll get Ezekiel 28, right? So let's start at 28:1. You brothers educate you. I'm going to show you the chapter that they go to try to convolute this concept,
Bend it, yeah.
right? To bend it, right? Then we're going to talk about Lucifer. First, we're going to talk about in heaven, the choir leader in heaven, right? Start at 1.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 28, verse 1.
Uh-huh.
The word of the Lord came again unto me, saying,
Uh-huh.
Son of man,
Read.
say unto the prince of Tyrus,
Say to the who?
the prince of
The
Tyrus,
Prince of Tyrus, right? So the context is the prophet Ezekiel giving a message from God to the Prince of Tyrus, right? Tyrus is a Phoenician city. So this is an actual dude. When you go to the time period of Ezekiel, the actual guy's name is Ithobaal III. Ithobaal III. This is who Ezekiel is talking to, right? So we know he's not talking to Satan, the devil, any spiritual entity. He's talking about a living man, a king of a particular area, right? The Prince of Tyrus, right? Now give me that like about 16 when it talks about the pipes.
Like read the words in the computer.
So this is going to tie back into something I said to you earlier. Talking about the pipes. Go back earlier. The merchandise. Okay, let's go back. What are we going to get? Let's go lead into that first. Right here. Starting at 13. Go ahead.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 28, verse 13.
Read on.
Thou hast been in Eden,
I've been in Eden. Read.
the garden of God.
People see this Eden, the garden of God. They think about the damn serpent. You don't even know what Eden, the garden of God is. The term Eden, Adam, means paradise. Number one, that's what it means, paradise. The whole earth was paradise, but there was a garden set eastward in the earth, right? Then there was a flood. After the flood, people began to settle. That land is called the Fertile Crescent. That land is from the Nile to the Euphrates.
Oh,
which
yes,
is
Mesopotamia.
Mesopotamia, which is what God promised to Abraham.
Right.
So that promised land, that's what the garden is. It's the promised land. That's it.
Oh,
Right?
that's exactly.
It's partially Africa, partially Asia.
Okay.
That's why the Israelites were called Afro-Asiatic in old history, because it's both. It's in both. See what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Every precious stone was thy covering.
Every precious stone was not covering. This goes back to when I was talking to you about how those Phoenician people were selling the purple and the royal blue and the scarlet colored garments. They had merchandise. Other than the clothing, they also had stones that they sold, jewelry that they sold. They were merchant people. These were Hamitic people, right? Who were Hamitic people? Used to be like a modern day West Africa, right? You have our people in West Africa, but then you also have other people in West Africa. These people are known for their merchandise, right? They're known for coming and selling you something. That's not a new, that they didn't just pick that up from antiquity. They've always had a salesman's skill. That's part of their blessing, right? Read.
The sawdust,
Uh-huh.
the topaz,
So this is naming these rare stones. So these are the stones that they sold, right? This is their merchandise. Read.
the diamond,
Uh-huh.
the beryl,
Read on.
the onyx,
Uh-huh.
Hey.
and the
Go
jasper,
ahead. What?
Onyx.
Onyx.
It really, yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
the sapphire,
Uh-huh.
the emerald,
Read on.
and the cupiscus,
Uh-huh.
and gold.
Read.
The workmanships of thy tabrets,
Now watch this. The workmanship of thy terribles. Read.
and of thy pipes.
Of thy pipes. They read that verse and they go, see, Satan had this. He was like an organ. And he could sing. No, it's talking about their merchandise. It's talking about the jewelry that they made, sold to people and got rich on. Right? The guy, Ithobaal. And these are all historical facts. When you mystify it and make this Satan now, it just sounds crazy. But we could actually say, listen, there was really a guy named Ithobaal. His people really made a lot of money from selling jewelry throughout the world, for being, experts in navigating in the sea, going to new places and selling these goods. So it practicalizes these things, right? Go ahead.
And of thy pipes was prepared in thee in the day
Uh-huh.
that thou was created.
Right, read on.
Thou
So
art
they're saying that means God made Satan to be able to sing like he had an organ. built to his chest, right?
Right.
Madness, right? Go ahead.
Thou art an anointed cherubim that covered.
It said, thou art an anointed cherubim that covered. This also, he's an anointed cherubim that covered. A cherubim is like an angel. The reason why he's an anointed cherubim that covered is because it was a brotherly covenant between the people of Tyrus and the Israelites, right? And they possessed the sea. So nobody can invade the Israelites via the sea because these people who we were in covenant with were there at the sea and would have met them with military intervention if they would have tried to. That's why he was the anointed cherubim that covered. We had a deal with him to where he would watch our flank. See what I'm saying? Instead, it's the great Satan Lucifer, right? Go ahead.
And I have set thee so. Thou was upon the holy mountains of God.
That was upon the holy mountains. They were in that same land. Because Tyrus is just right next to Israel, right? He was in the holy land, the holy mountain. Read.
Thou hast walked up and down in the midst of the stones of fire.
Right, go ahead. In the midst of the stones of fire, because Israel are the 12 lively stones or the stones of fire, meaning they were amongst the Israelites. That's what that means. Right next door to them. Read.
Thou was perfect in thy ways from the day that thou was created.
Go ahead.
Till iniquity was found in thee.
Till iniquity is found in thee. Hold that. Let's find out what the iniquity was. Amos 1. Let's find out the iniquity God found. Right? Not Satan. We're going to deal with, I'm going to show you something about Satan in a second too. Because they say what? That he was this choir leader, then he rebelled, then there was a war in heaven, then he fell, right? So I'm going to first deal with this, then I'm going to show you those things, how you debunk those things. 1 and what, 9? Go ahead.
This is the book of Amos, chapter 1, verse 9.
Read it.
Thus said the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Tyrus.
Of Tyrus, same place. 3, right? So he said you were perfect until iniquity was found in thee. In this chapter, he's identifying what that iniquity or what those transgressions, those sins were, right? Read.
In 4:4. I will not turn away the punishment thereof.
So God is going to punish these people. For what? Read.
Because they delivered up the whole captivity.
They delivered up what?
The whole captivity.
Read on.
To Edom.
To what?
To Edom.
Meaning they sold us into slavery. This is why God is mad at these people and he's pronouncing judgment, because they sold us into slavery. Now this was when we were in the Middle East. So now, fast forward 1,500, 2,000 years later, they do it again. They do the same thing again. These same guys, the same people of Tyrus, after we get kicked out of Levant together as white people and Arab tribes, and we get ran into West Africa together, they sell us to the white man again, because Edom is a white man, right? They sell us right back to him. So that's why God said, you were perfect until iniquity was found in thee. What was the iniquity? We had a brotherly covenant with you, and you backstabbed us, and you sold us to our arch enemy, right? Read.
And remember not the brotherly covenant.
And remember not what?
The brotherly covenant.
Remember I said we had that covenant? That's why he was the anointed cherubim that covered, because we had a brotherly covenant with him. That goes back to the time of Solomon, right? When Solomon was building his temple, he had that covenant with those people, and they provided us with the wood that we needed to build our temple. So now, let's look at Job real quick. Job, was that 2 and 1? Because this is going to debunk that there was a war and Satan fell. Watch this. Go ahead.
This is the book of Job, chapter 2, verse 1.
Read.
Again, there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord.
So the sons of God came to God, right? Directly in his throne, right? Read.
And Satan came also.
Who?
And Satan came also.
So if he fell, why he just popping up at God's house? What's up, guys? How you feeling, man? What's going on, bro? He showed up, right? Read.
Among them to present himself before the Lord.
He came to present himself, right? And let's see how the conversation, but let's see if God's mad that he showed up. Read.
And the Lord said unto Satan,
You see, he's talking to him. Hey, see, what's going on, man? Go ahead.
From whence cometh thou?
Where'd you come from, man? Hey, well, you know what? It's like you just see swinging. Oh, what's up, man? Where you was coming from, bro? Go ahead.
And Satan answered the Lord and said, From going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down it.
I'm going all around earth. Now I'm back up here, and I'm here to report you. Because basically what God got the angels and the demons, their job is to come into earth and observe things, and then come back and report to you. This is what I saw. Look, this is the go down, this is that. You see what I'm saying? That's the job, so that's what that's showing you, right? That had nothing to do with the war in heaven and he fell up out of heaven, right? You don't hear about a war in heaven until the last book of the Bible. Why don't we hear about a war in heaven? In the first book of the Bible. Before we get to creation, where does this war in heaven happen? It happened pre-creation, but we don't hear about it until Revelation. Because the war in heaven and Revelation talk about ain't got nothing to do with Satan, etc. Give me that Revelation 12. Let's deal with that. Right? See, because we just been, like you said, they've been trampling that truth, right? They've been trying to suppress that truth. And once us as cognitive, intelligent, so-called black and Hispanic men open the book and just read it for ourselves without, see, Christ says something powerful in John 3. Everyone go to John 3 and 16. They don't start it with one. Because he says a man must be born again. That's what he said in the beginning of John 3, right? People think born again, we go to church and you get dunked in some water and we think we're born again. You ain't born again just because everyone take a bath. That make you a whole new person? No. Literally being born again is like you becoming an infant again. Being molded again, learning things all over again. That's really what being born again means. So when we put away all these, everything that we've been taught and led to believe, and we as cognitive, so-called black and Hispanic men open the book and just start to read it through our own logical lens, we begin to understand we've been bamboozled. We've been duped, right? Read.
You want to start at 1? Start at 1. All right, this is the book of Revelation, chapter 12, verse 1.
Read.
And there appeared a great wonder in heaven. A woman clothed with the sun.
Right, a woman clothed with the sun. Read.
And the moon under her feet.
Read on.
And upon her head a crown of 12 stars.
12 stars, right? When you read in Genesis, you remember the story of Joseph? Remember Joseph had dreams.
Yeah, that was, yeah.
Right? And remember what his dreams was? He saw the 12 stars bow down to him, or he saw the 11 of the stars bow down to him. How did that come to pass? When his brothers had to come and he was running things in Egypt, and his brothers had to come back, literally bow down to him, right? So when you deal with the 12, he had 12 brothers. He had 11 brothers. He was the 12, right? Remember, he was one of the stars, and the 11 stars bowed down to him, right? The 12 stars is dealing with Israel, right? So, right, read.
And she being with child cried, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered.
Right, read on.
And there appeared another wonder in heaven.
Here comes another one to read.
And behold, a great red dragon.
Dragon is down there. Great red dragon, read.
With having 7 heads.
Cool. See? Same guy, right? Same dragon, right? Read.
And 10 horns.
Talk about the ancient European Empire, which was surmised in that time as the Roman Empire, right? Read.
And 7 crowns upon his head. And the tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven.
The third part of the stars of heaven. Why did it say that? Because the 12 stars represent all 12 tribes. But during the time of the birth of Christ, because remember it said travail to give birth. So it's talking about the birth of Christ. It's going to elaborate further. But there were only 3 tribes and a remnant of the other tribes that were in Israel at that time, right? So that's how those stars were drew out of heaven, right? Through those being the only tribes present in that land, getting that oppression, right? Go ahead. And then I'm going to show you about what getting cast out of heaven results. Go ahead.
And did cast me to the earth.
And then cast it to the earth. So there's a biblical concept about getting cast out of heaven to the earth that has absolutely nothing to do with literally being in a celestial realm and being forced down to earth. Lamentations. Hold that Lamentations.
This is the book of Lamentations, chapter 2, verse 1.
Read.
How had the Lord covered the daughters of Zion?
Daughter of Zion, right? Israel. The daughter of Zion, read.
With a cloud in his anger.
With a cloud, right? For example, if somebody used the figure of speech, it's like there's a black cloud over us, right? That just means like you're in despair, you're kind of depressed, you're in a low state, right? It says that because God was mad, he covered us with a cloud, right? Read.
And cast down from heaven.
Did what?
And cast down from heaven.
Read.
Unto the earth. The beauty of Israel.
See that? Is the beauty of Israel in the celestial realm and get cast to the terrestrial realm? No. Meaning he brought us low. We were in rulership. We had our sovereignty. This time, Lamentations written by Jeremiah is when the Babylonians come and take us into captivity. So that's what it means to be cast from heaven out of earth. From you being your own sovereign, autonomous nation, to you being subject to another nation, right? So that's what it means to be cast out of heaven. You're cast out of rulership, right? You see what I'm saying? You understand? Go ahead.
Verse 4. And his 12 drew a third part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth.
Right, so they took us out of rulership, and we were subject to the Romans at that time, right? Read.
And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born.
The representatives of the Roman Empire were trying to kill Christ. Remember Herod was trying to make that happen? They were trying to devour that child as soon as it was born, right? Read.
And she brought forth a man-child.
Brought forth a man-child, read.
Who was to rule all nations.
This is how we know it's talking about the Messiah. The Man-child that's to rule all nations, right? Read.
with a rod of iron.
Uh-huh.
And a child was called up unto God,
Right.
and to his throne.
Right? That burial, resurrection called up to God and to his throne, right? Read.
And the woman fled into the wilderness,
Uh-huh.
where she had a place prepared of God.
Uh-huh. So the woman fled into the wilderness where she had a place prepared of God. Because we got drove out of Israel, and where did we go? We went into West Africa. West Africa was a place that was uncharted. West Africa was a place that didn't have pre-existing empires before we went up in there. You don't see empires start to pop up in West Africa until 700 AD. We get kicked out of Israel 70 AD, right? So that literally is just the time it took us to migrate over through East Africa into North Africa, across the Sahara, into West Africa, and begin to establish empire. That took about 600 years. You know what I'm saying? So that whole time period, but that's the place that God had prepared for us. Read.
To his throne. And then and the woman fled into the wilderness, where she had a place prepared of God, that they should feed her there 1,203 days.
So that term 1260, 1,203 days, is a reoccurring theme prophetically, right? And also, if you take 1,260 days, that also equals 3.5 years, right? We'll see that. We also see 350 years principle. It tells us in the history of prophetically, when you look at days like that, it's a day per year. So that's 1,260 years that we was out in West Africa, right? Read.
And there was a war in heaven.
There was what?
A war in heaven.
This is when it says, and there was a war in heaven. So after all of this, that's when there's going to be a war in heaven. Not before any of this. After this, there was a war in heaven. Read.
Michael and his angels fought against the dragon.
And it fought against who?
The dragon.
Now we've already identified the dragon. So now we're not mystifying the dragon and making the dragon Satan, right? Because here's what people do. They read in Revelation 20, I believe, where it calls the dragon that old serpent, right? And people go, that old serpent. Well, what's the old serpent? The one in Genesis, right? But if I say you old fool, does that mean you're the original fool? Sometimes people just, in the English language, people use that term old as like an adjective to just describe something. You old idiot, that old punk, old girl. How many times say old girl, old boy? Is he the old girl? Is he the old boy? No, that's just a word that you use. So what it's called about an old serpent is, it's just talking about the nature of this people. You're servants, right? You're a stick, right? Read.
And the dragon fought and his angels.
So the dragon fought his angels. What's NATO's angels? Well, yeah, but who are their angels? You know if an Air Force pilot was shot down, they'll call it a foreign angel. When they could send his body back to that's a foreign angel. You understand? Yeah. That's who his angels are. Why do you think Donald Trump's implementing something called the Space Force? He's legitimately bankrolled, I want to say like half a $1 trillion to develop a space force. You think the Space Force is for? Marvin the Martian?
I think when I
Well, it's the fight against the angels of light fighting his angels, right? You know that, what are they calling UFOs now? Unidentified aerial phenomena, something like that. They've reclassified it because they've had to admit that there are vessels that they're seeing, CNN, the government, they're having to admit because it's happening at such a rapid rate and there's so much evidence out there that there's vessels that we're seeing in the air that we can't explain, we don't know where they come from, we don't know nothing about it, right? That's why they're developing things like the space force. It's because they say Christ is coming back with clouds, right? It's a cloud. Christ is riding on a cloud. A cloud is in the air, ain't it? Yeah. So if he's riding it, that's showing you that that's a vessel, right? He's on a vessel that's going to be in the sky, but that's unlike anything we've ever seen. Go ahead.
No, just let me back on this point. This is what an Army dude texted me to show you what he's saying about the Space Force, man.
Space infantry. Look, this is how they recruit. $40,000 sign-on bonus to join this space force. Specialized training in the battlefield of outer space.
Is that it?
Specialists and transfer to Space Force upon completion of the 115 Space Infantry. Right? So they really recruit people. Why would they be doing this if they didn't believe that there was an imminent threat that was otherworldly? But the imminent threat that's otherworldly is the Messiah, the Archangel Michael, and their forces. Right? Remember when remember when Peter cut the ear off of the centurion? What did Messiah say to him? He said, don't you know if I'm one or two 12 angels, 12 angels come down here right now? Right? What does that mean? That these angels are armies. They're in army ranks, legions, right? And they're ready to come down at any time. They weren't supposed to come down at that time because he had to go through that because our sins had to be put on him, right? That had to occur, right? But when he returns back, he's coming with those legions, and they're going to fight against the space force.
See, now you look at things. See, it's on the media. United Nations Space Command, Halo, same thing. Like,
see what I'm saying?
It's like, what was I going to say? The number 501. What does that mean?
501. Only thing pops up on my 501 is 501c3 charter that most of these churches are, or para-Levi. That's what That's the only thing I correlate to 501.
See, that makes a lot of sense because, especially when you get to like your elite situation, what did Darth Vader lead? The 501st Legion. See how that works? See? It's crazy, man.
It's crazy because I'm getting ready to watch, because I got Disney Plus now. I've been watching The Mandalorian. But I'm getting ready to really watch the whole series, the whole Star Wars. I know I need to do that.
Like I said, the last one before I go, love something. I asked this about music because I was getting to, like, you know, Wu-Tang. How you feel about them? Like, what's their influence and how you, what's your overall view?
Wu-Tang, notice you got members of the Wu-Tang like Killer Priest, like Hellraiser. They're full-fledged into this. Wu-Tang used to go to the Passover, right? So they understand this. RZA got, what's this song? I forget the name of the RZA song, but he says it. He said, rolling with the Lamb talking about Christ, 144,000 chosen protons and neutrons always make explosions, right? So they, Wu-Tang understand about this 1,000%. They understand this.
So I've been like studying, like, because the 11th member, he always said these numbers and everything. My favorite number is the 11th member, Red Man.
Okay.
And then earlier, I'm like, I just got that kind of mind. I've known ever since I was 13, see that number.
But it's correlated with numbers. You're thinking numbers.
Exactly.
Remember in school they have you do that aptitude test and they tell you how your mind works? Yeah. And then some people they are more inclined to know, identify things with numbers.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
And then so I was riding the bus, you know, trying to get a job and everything. And it's crazy, like the place is called Farmburg. I ain't even gonna get into that. But then I see in graffiti on one of those little, I don't know what you call it. I see like what is it? It has on graffiti and it says Noble. Redman's real name is Reginald Noble.
Okay.
See what I'm saying? It's like what? I be seeing stuff like I be trying to make sense of it. You see what I'm saying?
Well, yeah.
So it's just
listen. Sometimes we gotta understand something, right?
it's just so
The Most High God, His methods of communication are vast, right?
Right.
Like music, right? I remember I went to jail in 2013, right? There's a song, I believe it's Jurassic 5. Jurassic 5, nigga don't know. And the hook went, I gotta hold on to this feeling, freedom. And it was just stuck in my head over and over and over and over. Then I went to jail. Now I'm thinking I gotta hold on to the feeling of freedom because I don't have it. So I'm realizing he already let me know what was getting ready to happen. I was getting ready to get locked up. But he communicated that to me through the form of putting the song in my head over and over. There was another one. When I learned about all this information, I lived half my life in the state of Washington, half my life in the state of California. I went back to Washington. That's when I already had learned this information in California. But I didn't start teaching it until I went back to Washington, right? So I was at a crossroads where I was either going to stay where I was at in Washington or I was going to go to California, right? Then, you remember that song, California, Here We Come, right back when we started, bro? Yeah. You remember that song? I know you know that song, right? So I'm on this long-ass walk trying to contemplate what I'm going to do, right? And that song is in my head, California, Here We Come, right back where we started from, because that's where I really started my journey in this knowledge. So I knew when that song came in my head, that's where I needed to go. Now I'm here, talking to you. If I wouldn't have went back to California, I might not be here talking to you. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, everything happens.
We don't used to be.
Fridays, around this time, we could be right here or like a block down, like in front of the CBS. Thursday nights, CNN. Saturday afternoons, CNN. Right out front. What's your name, King?
Name's Devin.
Devin?
Yeah.
Okay, Alazar. Pleasure to meet you,
Alazar.
More praise and more.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Yes, sir.
Shalom, what's going on? It's your brother, Chief Priest Alazar Lawyer, aka the Guerrilla Hebrew,
And I'm just letting y'all know I just dropped my official clothing line, Urban Gorilla. Go to urbangorilla.com right now to check us out, man, and pick something up. That's URBNGRLA.com. We got all kind of items for men, women, children, even infants, as well as fragrance oil, smell goods. You can also check out Hebrew Israelite Clothing Co., another Sicarii business, on Instagram and Facebook. And as always, you can hit up deaconsicari.com to get your plug on the scarves, the music, and the children's Bibles. Thanks for your time. All praise to the Most High. Kwam Yasharahla. Shalom.